Good morning, my dear students, and I welcome you once again back to the English online classes. Last video was of the poem A Photograph. I have explained to you each and every line and the stanzas of this poem, and I hope that you all have understood it clearly. As I said, any doubts you are free to message me. Now here in this poem, I'm scrolling the poem, which is very much clearly visible to you, I hope so, on your screen. And after this, I'll be discussing the questions, and then we will move on to the chapter which I have selected for you all for your next class, means today's class itself. So in this poem, we have seen about the poet's mother, about the poet recalling the time when the mother was just 12 years old, and basically she had gone on a sea holiday and with her two young cousins, and the their names are Betty and Dolly, and then how they have spent their time there, how they have enjoyed, and then when the mother see the photograph, what she enjoys, what she recalls, and when the poet sees the photograph, what she recalls, what is that they both have lost, and how they both were trying to cope with that loss with great difficulty or hard labor, and then the death of poet's mother and the silence that is accompanied with that death to display or to express the deep pain of the poet. This is what we people have done in the last video. Now let's come to the questions of this particular poem and think it out. This is what we people are going to deal with now. In that, the first question is given: what does the word cardboard denote in the poem? Why has this word been used? If you remember, when I was explaining the poem to you, I told you what the cardboard means. Here, the cardboard is the word used to tell about that hard stuff on which the photograph might be pasted and covered with a glass, means a photo frame. And this is done to safeguard or keep the photograph safe for a longer period of time. Now here it has been asked that why has this word been used? Cardboard word is being used over here just to tell that it is used for the purpose of safety and longevity of the photograph. Next question: what has the camera captured? You remember I told you that the uncle was taking the photograph, and now it has been asked that when you look at that photograph, or when the poet looked at the photograph, what did the poet see in it? So what has the camera captured? The camera has captured 3 girls of age 12, in which the eldest one is the poet's mother, and the other 2 girls, while paddling, they were holding the poet's mother's hands and were enjoying the sea holiday, posing to their uncle's camera. Third one: what has not changed over the years? Can you just think of something? Yes, correct. While explanation time, I have told you that beside these 3 girls, there is something else also in the photograph which had not changed even after long years passed. Yes, that's the sea. Yes, the sea has not changed over the years. It is still the same. Same water, same waves, and it is still the same. Does this suggest something to you? Yes, it suggests about the mortality. Means the fact that the humans are not going to live forever. It tells us that the sea washes the transient, not permanent feet of the humans. You can say that it tells us about the immortality and the mortality. The fourth question is: the poet's mother laughed at the snapshot. What did this laugh indicate? What the photograph was about? it was about her childhood. Yeah, childhood only, you can say, when she was just somewhat 12 years old. And she looked at the photograph and she laughed. What does she laugh at? Yes, she laughed at the joy, the happiness, the childishness, the innocence of her childhood days and the time spent with her cousins round the beach. The next question, fifth one. What is the meaning of the line both ride with the labored ease of loss? Can you let me know? Both ride with the labored ease of loss. Right, what I told you? Both were disappointed. Means right here is a mixture of feelings, Happy to see something but disappointed at the loss of that something. Yeah. And here both means the poet and the poet's mother. And both were happy. Happy regarding what? First, the poet's mother was happy to see the photograph and recall her childhood. Poet was happy to see the mother in the photograph. And loss. What was the loss? The mother cannot go back to that past, that childhood, to enjoy those days. And poet's loss is mother is no longer alive. So this is the loss. And both were disappointed and were working hard, labored. They were working very hard to cope. Ease actually means to take something easily. Here we will take the word as cope. So both were disappointed and they both were trying to cope up and were working very hard to do this, to cope up with their losses, individual losses. What does this circumstance refer to? While I was explaining the last stanza of it, I told you what circumstance means over there. Yes, the circumstance over there refers to the death of the poet's mother. Nothing else to write down in that. The three stanzas depict three different phases. What are they? Three different phases. What are they? In the first stanza, what the poet's mother is doing, she's a child. So, childhood bashes, childhood happiness. Second stanza, she is a young lady and she recalls her past childhood memories. And the third stanza, the poet's mother is no longer. And it's the death and the loss that has been depicted over there in the third and the last stanza of the poem. And my dear students, for the poem, I generally don't give any extra questions because these questions plus stanzas are much more important for you people. That's why I have been telling you that you must keep a pencil in your hand and note down the things in your own way, because the stanzas will be asked as extracts and then the questions related to that will be there, which can vary from time to time. So because of that reason, you must be very thorough with the lines of the poem, each and every stanza. So this is what is all about the poem. Now I'm planning to take this chapter for you people. Chapter 5, The Alien Planet, The Green Movement's Role by Nani Palkhiwala. Now this chapter, The Alien Planet, The Green Movement's Role, first of all, let me tell you what this chapter is all about. And then after that, I'll begin with the chapter. Now see, in today's scenario, or you can see that today's world, how the condition is. We people are suffering with a lot of things. And global warming is one such thing. You might have seen that when you were small children, there was a perfect time period for every season to come and go, whether it was summer, winter, rainy, autumn, or whatever may be. But now, even in the month of October, September, it's too hot. And who is responsible for all this? It's we humans. And the most important thing is to realize, is realization of responsibilities. Actually, the fact is that we humans are having one dirty habit. The habit is we all want our rights, but we forget our duties. And this chapter is an interesting one because it tells about our mother planet. It tells about our duties. It tells about her condition. Means here, planet Earth is a patient. And why she is a patient? That is what has been said over here in this chapter. That is what has been portrayed here in the chapter. And when a person is a patient, at that time certain symptoms are there which helps a doctor to diagnose that what that person is suffering from, isn't it? Like if you are having influenza, if you are having cold, common cold or anything like that, your nose will be will be having a running nose, you will be sneezing, your eyes will be red, your nose tip will be red. So they are symptoms. Here also Earth is also showing symptoms. So when certain people realized, groups, organizations, people, they realized that what is happening to planet Earth, they took certain steps. They are mentioned over here in this lesson. Some datas are given, but please don't consider those datas to be the present datas, because this chapter is based on very old article been written by Nani Palkhiwala, and also datas are also very old. But it gives us a rough assumption that if at that time this was the statistics or this was the data, then what could be basically now in 2020. So let's go through the lesson, and I just request you that as humans try to understand the responsibilities. See, we have to be compassionate towards human beings. That is what has been said to us, that every holy book also tells us. But one more very important thing is to the planet Earth. She's our mother planet. She is the one where we people are residing, we are living. So to take care of her, what we are supposed to do, that is very important. So let's begin the chapter. After this introduction, let's go for it. Chapter 5, the ailing planet, the green movement's role. Movements, okay? Movement's role, Nani Palkhiwala. Now, the following article was written by Nani Palkhiwala and published in the Indian Express on 24th November 1994. The issues that he raised regarding the declining health of the earth continue to have a relevance. As I told you, it's a part or an excerpt being taken from one of the article that was written by Nani Palkhiwala in the newspaper Indian Express in 1994, 24th November 1994. So it's quite an old one. So the statistics were also old, as been mentioned over here. But the issue is not old. Issue is still existing. And the issue was declining health of planet Earth. I said now, here Earth is being described as a patient. And if Earth is a patient, she is called a patient because of some symptoms. And her health is declining. That is why the name of the chapter is the same. See, the ailing planet. Okay. Here, I should have told you first of all, what do you mean by ailing? Ailing means sickness. If some person is having some sickness, that person is ailing, is deceased. So the ailing planet. Which planet? Planet Earth. The green movement's role. Here, you might be knowing that many revolutions had come. So in that, one is green movement. So the role of green movement for this ailing planet. Now let's go for the actual reading and explanation. One cannot recall any movement in world history which has gripped the imagination of the entire human race so completely and so rapidly as the green movement which started nearly 25 years ago. In 1972, the world's first nationwide Green Party was founded in New Zealand. Since then, the movement has not looked back. As you can see, and as I told you, that numerous revolutions have taken place in the past and in the present also. It goes on. Revolution means it's a kind of a circle of motions that happens for bringing some kind of a big change. And this is the one which I'm talking about, that is the green movement. And as it has been said over here, that it had started some 25 years ago according to 1972. Okay, 25 years ago it started somewhat in 1972. 25 years ago in the sense that 72 plus 20 is how much? 90 plus somewhat 2-3 years again been added up. So it was around some of 1990s. According to that, it is 25 years ago. And according to that, this started in New Zealand, named as Green Movement's Role. And it has been said that after this movement had started in New Zealand, it has never seen a setback. It has kept on continuing, and then people had been made aware of what the movement is all about. So, further, what is the purpose of this movement? We have shifted, one hopes, irrevocably from the mechanistic view to a holistic and ecological view of the world. It is a shift in human perceptions as revolutionary as that introduced by Copernicus, who taught mankind in the 16th century that the Earth and the other planets revolved around the Sun. For the first time in human history, there is a growing worldwide consciousness that the Earth itself is a living being, a living organism, an enormous being of which we are parts. It has its own metabolic needs and vital processes which need to be respected and preserved. Now, here it has been said, we have shifted, one hopes, irrevocably from the mechanistic view to a holistic and ecological view of the world. Here, it means that in the past, there has been shift in the thinking of the people. One hopes irrevocably means changed. And that change is from mechanistic to holistic. Now, mechanistic to holistic means when we used to think only about ourselves, oneself, we were very mean, selfish. That is coming into the category of mechanistic. Here, mechanistic means machinery type means, I agree. But here it means that when we believed only about our happiness. But now there are changes. People, their thought have started shifting from mechanistic to holistic. Holistic here means when we think of it as a whole. Means like say for example, your body. Your body is having different parts. Okay, hand, leg, mouth, stomach, etc. Now you think that if your hands, they will think that, why should I listen to the legs? Let the leg do what they want to do. That is selfishness, mechanistic. Different parts thinking of for themselves. And your body, it will never work perfectly. Now holistic, a whole. Your hand, leg, brain, stomach, mouth, neck, everything thinks about the body. Body as a whole. That is holistic. Means together, not as parts. So this is what has been said, that with time and with things coming up, or ideas, informations, or the eyes opening up, it means the surrounding has acted like an eye opener. So people have started giving their thoughts a shift from mechanistic to holistic, thinking about the surrounding, thinking about the ecology, the ecosystem. Ecosystem means where we people are living. And then Nani Palkhiwala, he says that it is a shift in human perceptions, human thinking, as revolutionary, like what Copernicus said. See, it has been said that Copernicus, he told the mankind in the 16th century that Earth and the planet revolve around the sun. You all know. They got their own orbits, and in that orbit, with the sun in the center, they revolve around the sun. Before that, people believed that sun revolves around the earth and the other planets. But Copernicus brought this revolutionary thought and made the people shift their thought from that old thinking to the present thinking, where they believed that it is not the sun but the earth and the planets which revolves around the sun. Now I hope you understood the shift of belief and thoughts. And it has been said that for first time in the history of human beings are becoming conscious of the fact that earth is also like a living organism. Definitely. It is not like us, small. It is a very big, enormous, a very big organism. And if it is an organism, it will have its own needs. You are also having your own needs now. Like you need food to eat to get energy. You need money to run your life. Many needs are there. Metabolic, materialistic, all kind of needs are there of yours. So here also, earth, when we start thinking of earth to be like a living organism, we have to agree that earth is also having its own metabolic needs, certain very important, vital processes, which is needed to be respected and preserved. Means we must respect the needs of planet earth, and we must work hard to preserve and give that to her. The earth's vital signs reveal a patient in declining health. We have begun to realize our ethical obligations to be good stewards of the planet and responsible trustees of the legacy to future generations. Very beautiful sentences are there in this lesson. It gives you can say that it will give you a chance to go into the depth of what our responsibilities are, who we are. And it will change the thinking that generally we people develop from the time we are born. The earth's vital signs. It means there are many important symptoms which have been shown by earth, which tells us that her health is deteriorating. It's becoming worse. And it is high time that we have to realize our ethical obligations. Obligations means necessary, compulsory. Ethical means social duties. Social duties which are compulsory. And what is that? First, to be good steward. Here, stewards means you can say guards, warriors, who can safeguard, who can give safety to the planet Earth, and responsible trustees of the legacy to future generation. Responsible trustees. Who are these trustees? I'm talking about. And what is the work of this trustee? See, you might have seen that. I hope you all watch movies, isn't it? You might have seen that sometimes a very rich family, the elderly people, they pass away, and then the child is very young, and the child has to grow up to one particular age, and then the child will be given the means you can say that the family property and all those money and all those things to the child. Till the child grow up, the responsibility of looking after all those property goes to one person, and it is the responsibility of that person to hand over that property to that child when the child comes to that age. That person is actually we people, and that child is the future generation. Now, did you understood? It is our responsibility to take care of this legacy. Legacy means this planet Earth is our legacy, property, which we have to look of as guard, as trustees, and we have to hand it over to the future generation. And then afterwards, the duties will change. The future generation will also become stewards and trustees, and then they have to hand over the legacy, that is Earth, into the hands of their future generation. And in this way, the chain continues. I hope till here I am very much clear to you people, and then we'll continue with the rest in the next video. Till then, goodbye and stay safe.